everybody. Welcome back to
We Got Ish to Say, an Everyday Vibe podcast.
I'm your host, Amanda.
And I'm your host, Kay.
And you guys know
This is part 2. We hope you enjoyed part 1 of the episode. We have a guest. LPC Deanna Hatcher is here with us.
On this show, we absolutely always stress and believe in your mental health and therapy.
And Deanna is going to give you a lot of insight today.
Thank you so much, ladies. Again, my name is Deanna, and I am a licensed professional counselor. I'm a cognitive behavioral therapist, but I work with people from a holistic perspective. We're more than just a physical being. We have our mind to contend with, and also our spirit. And a lot of times when I say spirit, people are like, oh, Lord, and to get a sermon. No, it does include that too, but it includes so many other things. You can be an atheist and still be spiritual. It's just being aware and appreciative of your environment and being present. If you can stand outside and just be still for a moment and be aware of what's going on around you, the wind blowing, the sun shining, the birds chirping, the bees buzzing, all that kind of, just to stop and be present, because that's a spiritual act right there. Just taking time to just be.
Yes. I love that. Thank you for grounding us in that whole spirit thing, because people do get a little afraid. Either go either way. Oh, you about to get Christian on me, or you about to get like voodoo on me. Where you going? I don't know. So thank you for grounding us in that. And I feel like when you do seek out some type of therapy or help, you do come to a sense in yourself where your spirit is defeated. Like there is nothing more that I can do. It's just mind, body, soul. I need somebody to feed me because I can't feed myself. My mind is here. And now I need my spirit to be fed. And not just by going to church or reading your Bible. Sometimes you do have to talk to a licensed person. Yeah. One, because they are looking outside of you and they are aware of how to take the steps necessary for you to heal. You were talking about forgiveness as being one of the steps to emotional wounds. Is there another step after the forgiveness?
That's where the focus on self starts. And like I said, that there's so much to that too. Because for one, learning how to forgive others, but the hardest thing is to learn how to forgive self too. That's one first step, A and B.
Right. They go
together.
They go together.
But one sometimes can be a little bit more challenging than the other. Another step is, again, being not aware, but yeah, being self-aware, just all aspects of self-aware, self-esteem, how you feel about yourself, your self-confidence, being confident in your abilities to do whatever it is you set your mind to do, self-exploration, getting to know yourself, knowing what your likes are, what your dislikes are, what your values are, what you are about. A lot of people don't know that. They don't know that. I come so many people pleasers where they put everybody else's needs, wants, desires before their own. They don't prioritize their own needs. And so in order to go through these steps, you got to first start with you and everything there is about you.
Yeah. Say that again, please. Loud of people in the back.
You got to start with you. See, y'all gonna make me hoop now. Y'all gonna turn that into.
Look, we here for it.
Because I just don't think people really understand. A lot of people be wanting help and going to all these different things, seeking some type of like assistance to heal, but they haven't even started at like, I'm gonna look in the mirror and I'm like, I love myself. I accept myself. You don't have to blame yourself. Like, it starts with the self. And I think that's like literally the root to starting the journey is really loving yourself and being ready to accept you.
Yeah, we had another guest on the show who talked about creating your whole self. And that was a part of it. It was like really looking at your whole self, the different parts of you. And like you said, being able to outline what it is that I do and don't like, will and won't accept, those different things. And yeah, a lot of people cannot or just don't. I guess it can be scary. If you don't know yourself, it can kind of be scary to maybe find out who you are and then have to represent that to the world like this is who I am, because you lose along the way sometimes.
One other example. Define happy. I hear that word so much. If I had a nickel for every time I hear the word happy, I'd own my own island. Woo! But
I believe it.
So we got a bunch of people out here searching to understand what happiness is.
That word is thrown around so much. I just want to be happy. Okay, all right. So what does that look like? What is that? And I get crickets. Never thought about it, have you? Happy to me might look a whole lot different than it does to you. And even it depends on what it is that you envision is happy. What makes you feel good? What brings you peace? What brings you joy? What gives what energizes you? A lot of those things people don't focus on. They put that on the back burner.
And that sounds like the people that don't understand that are the people that are people pleasing. They're not serving themselves because the main denominator, the common denominator was you. Like what makes you tick, not what you're doing for other people, but how you feel. And if you're a people pleaser, you ain't gonna know nothing about yourself. My husband like this, my kids like this, but what about yourself? What do you need?
And usually that is to be accepted, to belong. And that comes from usually stems from an emotional wound, abandonment.
Yep. I knew it. Yep. Whoa, that's so crazy. It's all
it's like a circle.
Yes.
Yes.
Woo. This is why we say go to therapy, guys. Like
self-care.
Literally, it is. It's probably the greatest form, and all the things that you're searching for definitely, I believe, are within. They have to start with you, and they are within. So you got to break out of some of those projections that are placed onto you about different people's fears or their taboos or whatever. You got to break out of that and search for yourself to really find you. Because
charity starts at home. And so when you are good to yourself and you are prioritizing yourself and you're putting self first, then you can begin to spread the joy outward, because that way people need you to be at your best. And if you're an employee, if you're a business person, if you're a mom, if you're a caretaker of some type, whatever you are, whoever as depending on you or has some type of expectation of you, they need for you to be at 100%. And if you down and out, but yet you self-sacrificing despite how low you are, you're not being any good to anybody. But
it's like you're a walking zombie.
Yep.
Just like a walking zombie, a robot, just doing never self-reflecting and trying to elevate your self-awareness. Can you talk about different ways other than therapy that people can practice self-care?
Woo! I mentioned one of those a minute ago, and that is self-exploration. Get to know yourself. Spend some time with yourself. One of the hardest things that a lot of us find difficult to do is spending time with ourselves. If it's something as simple as going out to dinner, sit by yourself. Man, some of my patients that I say, okay, all right, I need for you to treat yourself to a meal. Just you think I'd have cursed them. What? You want me to think by myself? What? What are people gonna think? They gonna I'm like, what are people gonna think? What do you think they're thinking? They gonna think I'm desperate. I'm lonely. I'm okay. Why would they think that?
And what's your favorite line after that, Amanda?
I just mind my business.
And why do you care so much what other people thinking?
just mind my business.
You know?
I don't care.
Why you care so much what other people thinking?
Right.
Like, what do you mean?
But
Look,
people get
that
so
right there.
self-conscious about how other people see them to the point where it
Yes.
it drives an overwhelming amount of fear and anxiety as to what somebody might think, what somebody might say, how somebody might feel about you. And I say, okay, it's so important for you to spend time with self so that way you can learn about yourself, you can appreciate yourself. And for those folks who are looking for partners, it's like you got to learn to enjoy your own company before anybody else can. How you
Child, let me tell you something. Cause homegirl over here worried about rejection. I'm like, but do you love you? You just got out of a relationship. And you still in a situationship with this person, but you mad at a rejection you got and you met this person 5 minutes?
Yeah.
But do you love you enough to see, like, when everybody telling you you don't want that one, so you don't love enough to know you deserve better?
And you said something else earlier. You said about people needing you to be your best self and operating at just this higher level of you. It's so crazy because I really feel like when you're in that space, it's almost like moths to a flame to you. So like for our friend, an example, right? Like and this is a trash example, so whatever. But like when we go out to these parties and whatnot, right? I mind my business. I am there to have a good time with my friends. And this is my point. I'm always minding my business because I go in there with an intention of having a good time with my friends. Yeah. I'm just there because I'm just operating in a space of I'm here to have a good time. This is just me living my most authentic self and like at a higher level. But it's crazy because those are the very moments where like it seems like so many people want to now be in my space that I don't know. These are when the strangers are like in my face. Hi, can we dance? What are you getting? I don't know. I want you to leave me alone. Mind your business like I'm minding my business.
Your energy is infectious.
Exactly.
They know that you are like
operating at like this higher. Yes.
They want to be introduced to that energy.
And it's like moth to a flame.
That's it. I have to say that is called positive energy. Better known, I like called good vibes.
Hey, hey, you. Yeah, can I have a conversation with you really quick? Are you someone who's struggling financially? Do you struggle to budget, save, or even understand the various financial concepts that are out there? Would you like to learn more about these concepts and the options that are available to you and your money? Do you just want your money to be making more money and at a quicker rate? Would you like for you to be making money in your sleep? If any of that sounds like you, I highly suggest grabbing my brand new ebook, The 7 Power Tools to Building Wealth, the simple financial toolkit to everyday life situations. In this book, I cover everything from the fundamentals to the kind of complicated concepts that are out there that you've heard of but don't quite understand. If you're ready to take the next step to your financial journey, what are you still doing here? Go click the link in my bio and grab your copy today.
Yes. Yes,
Good
we love a
vibe.
good vibe.
Yes. Yeah. And a lot, again, all of that is still, you see, y'all getting into a whole bunch of stuff. We ain't got time. Ooh. Oh,
We told you we got you, girl. We on fire.
ooh, we will be here all night. We don't even have time for that stuff. Ooh, man.
We got to bring you back for an Instagram or a YouTube live or something.
Yes, yes, you will be back. We can bring you back for as many episodes as you would like to do. Exactly. When something new come up and you like, look, we got to talk about this.
Yep.
Let's do it.
Yeah, there's so many different layers to that second step of healing from these emotional wounds. And that self-care thing, wow, it has so many different layers that we need to hit on and peel back each one of those steps, examine them, because there are people struggling at every turn when it comes to that. They have these self-defeating, irrational thoughts that they have bought into, that they've taken as fact, and there is no evidence at all that these things that they bought into are true.
Yep.
Wow. I guess, guys, you guys know after this episode, if you didn't know already, we are highly promoting self-care and self-awareness.
Yes.
Especially in a time like this, as Deanna mentioned in the beginning, a lot of her patients are experiencing anxiety and depression. In these last couple of years, there's been a lot of stuff going on in our nation, and I'm pretty sure Deanna can say it's on the rise. More people are being clinically diagnosed with depression and anxiety, and one of it is because we're not bringing it in, caring for ourselves from these jobs, from our families. We have a lot of emotional wounds, aka trauma, that we're not dealing with, and it's coming to a part in our lives where it's just we're spilling out.
Yeah.
If you guys haven't already, go ahead and write self-care somewhere, anywhere where you can see it, and remember to practice it on a daily basis if you can.
Absolutely. Not if you can.
Yes,
make time for it.
Yes.
I want this to be a year of intentionality.
Yes.
Intentionally make time for your self-care.
And you speaking to yourself too, right?
Absolutely.
Oh, okay.
Absolutely. Look, y'all know I be having words of the year. Like, my top 2 words of this year are intentional and clarity.
Ooh.
That is all I am focused on, is having intentionality in the things that I do and getting clarity on where the Lord wants me to go.
All right. At the church, man.
Yes. And you guys know, me and Amanda, we joke around a lot. We're friends. I joke with her about self-care because my girl, she has a superwoman complex.
I do.
And she does not know how to slow down sometimes.
Correct.
So I just have to remind my girl that she has to bring it in, and it's okay if everything on the calendar don't get done. It's all right. Self-care, you don't got to be there for everybody. You don't got to say yes to everybody. But that's all love to her.
No, I know. And that's why we talk about it. And that's why we bring it with you. Because sometimes, like, I feel like people maybe feel like people are preaching at them or like talking at them. And it's no, I'm sitting here to let y'all know I am guilty too. We are going through it together. Let's grow together. You need an accountability partner, slide in my DMs respectfully, and we can do it.
Yeah.
I love that. Deanna, your LPC, are you just licensed in one state? Can other people connect with you and receive your services?
I am licensed, of course, in Alabama, which is my base. I'm also licensed in South Carolina, and I'm licensed in Florida. I am working on the West Coast. I'm working on California, Arizona, and Colorado.
Okay.
Love that.
Hey, y'all think
Amanda?
I need to look into? By all means, feel free to make that suggestion. I will definitely check into it.
Awesome. Okay. And so can you tell the people how, if they're in those states where you're licensed, because Deanna can only service you out of the states that she's licensed in. So can you please tell the people that are in those states how they can reach out to you to seek your services if you're open to?
Okay. I don't know if everyone, and this would be not just for me, but in general, if you are in need of some mental health services and you want to kind of put some feelers out there, because you just don't want to be talking to just anybody. You want to know a little bit about them. So there's this site called Psychology Today, where I do have a profile on there, but there are also other clinicians as well throughout the 50 states. So if you're looking for somebody that specializes in a certain thing, say for instance, if you are looking for someone who specializes in stress management or someone who specializes in a certain type of therapy like cognitive behavioral therapy, I think they even have a place on there where you can identify female and whether or not you specialize in sexual abuse, which I don't. There are so many different specialties where you can just say, okay, I want a counselor who is LGBTQ plus friendly and African American or and speaks German.
You can basically go in there and put your McDonald's order in, right? Go through all the filters.
Yeah. And that's how a lot of people find me, is on this website. So I have a blurb on there about me. You can see what my credentials are. You can see where I was educated, when I was educated. All of that is available on this website. And that's for anyone who is who is focused on this website, who is listed on this website. So
that
very
is
cool.
Amazing.
So Psychology Today. And then do you need to have a login or anything?
Yeah, browse freely. on there. Now, if you're looking for
Okay.
me, then I have a website. My practice is Swan Wellness Group, and my website is www.swanwellness.com.
Okay.
Perfect.
And let me tell y'all a little something. I know Deanna, we work together a little bit, and I think this lady's resume is like, man, when I first met her and I saw her resume, I was like, I gotta call her back and I gotta give this lady her flowers. One, because she is a Black woman, she has a lot of wisdom, and I saw her resume and I was just like, wow, like she's an entrepreneur. She went through all the steps to get all of her accolades, guys. This woman is amazing. And I don't want to flood her calendar, but I'm just saying she great. She's amazing. So I really hope if you are interested in her services, you reach out to her, maybe consult or something. I don't know. Maybe she'll be a great counselor for you. And I wanted to ask you one more question.
Yeah, I wanted to ask a question too.
Go ahead, because I forgot.
Okay. And you don't have to go too deep into this, and we may even cut it out. We obviously gonna cut me saying this part out. But one thing I feel like that sometimes deters people from therapy also is like potentially like cost or price.
Oh, yes.
So not necessarily what is your cost, but my question would be like, can people use insurance to potentially get therapy services, or does it always have to be out of pocket?
Yes, to both. Now, I am credentialed with a number of major insurance companies. So yes, they can use their insurance for therapy. Blue Cross Blue Shield, Anthem, I think is what it's called in you all's area. Blue Cross, and then there's Blue Shield also. I don't know if Kaiser is in you all's. Okay, so
They are.
Yep.
them Optum Behavioral Health, and all of this again. Everyone that I'm insured with or credentialed by is on my profile, and I believe it's on my website as well.
Perfect.
I do a sliding
Okay.
scale.
Amazing.
So depending on your income, and of course, I do take cost of living in your area into account. It could be as little as what some people would pay in a copay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just
That's amazing.
depending on their income and things. That's
Right.
amazing.
So don't let price or what you think
Yeah.
the cost may be scare you from looking into something because you don't know how you could be assisted.
Yeah, y'all thinking about all these TV
Right.
counselors and people
Right.
paying hundreds of dollars and stuff for services. Obviously, some people do probably pay hundreds of dollars for services, but you don't have to pay hundreds of dollars for services.
Not always
No,
the case.
no one should be denied services that they
Exactly.
need. I want to ask you two things. One, the first question is probably going to be a little long. Not a little long, but just depending on how she answers the question. I don't know what she's going to say. I don't know. But I wanted to ask you about just a brief process of becoming a licensed professional counselor. If you were interested in becoming a licensed professional counselor, can you give us like a brief synopsis of what it takes, the type of education that you need in order to make that happen?
Well, first of all, you have to have a 4-year degree. And usually people, they get 4-year degrees in like psychology, social work, sociology, subjects like that. Y'all, that's a whole nother podcast right there. Cause that's a soapbox for me, because we have folks who going majoring in things that they really should not major in. They take out $40,000-$50,000 on a degree. I know this ain't what you asked for, but this is my ministry.
No, that's good. No, this is good.
It happened to me.
Yes,
So I feel you.
look, I got a $40,000 degree on the wall, and I can only make $13 an hour. What?
Yes.
You get a 4-year degree. Usually it's a liberal arts. Then there is 2 additional years with a counseling major. If you want to get an LPC, it has to be a counseling major. It gets convoluted from state to state, but I'm going to try to keep this as simple as possible.
Because it ain't very simple, but she trying to give y'all the
a brief synopsis.
overview.
Once you finish the 2 to 2.5 years, depending on what your specialty is in counseling, because there are different specialties. Like mine was rehab. It took me 2.5 years to complete because of the different additional classes I had to take that was specialized for diagnosing folks with disabilities. But after then, depending on what state you are in, you have to do up to 3 years. It could be anywhere. If you're pursuing a PhD, they'll say, okay, you get a doctorate degree plus a year. At least that's what it is in Alabama. A doctorate degree, and then there's a year of what we call supervision. So you have to pay someone for, and supervision is 1,000 hours. Even with the PhD, it's 1,000 hours. Without the PhD, which is what I did, it is 3,000 hours. 3,000 hours, at least in the state of Alabama. Some other states it's four. I've seen as high as four. So yeah, 3,000 hours beyond the master's degree in order to get the LPC part.
So you saying
Hmm.
even when you do your master's part, sometimes it's not even included as your PhD
That's
part.
it.
3,000 hours. You ain't even a doctor, and
Three
I did 3,000 hours.
3,000 hours.
Oh wow,
Yes, beyond
that is
the
a lot.
master's level. They want you to have professional experience. But if you are in
Wow.
school to get a doctorate degree, they cut that to a year. At least here, that's in Alabama, that's how it is. Other states, it's different. And then you have to take a test, a state, it's a national test, but every state requires you to take a certain test. An exam.
And that's the part that
Uh-huh.
people get confused on. They be out here taking the national test thinking they licensed in all the states. And baby, you only licensed
Right.
in the
Each
state you got
governs
your
its
degree.
own professionals. Yes, yes, yeah,
Politics.
yeah.
Politics.
But it depend on what your career aspirations are, because for my licensure, the government, as it stands as of 2023, I cannot provide services to anyone who is 65 and above.
Oh wow.
It's
Whoa. When they do that?
it's been that
Why
way the
would they
whole
do
time.
that?
There's legislation that is supposed to be changing that licensure, but
Wow.
if you are a social worker, you can. The government recognizes social workers, LCSWs, and I'm not ashamed to say it, but if you are interested in providing these kind of services, mental health services, you may be better suited pursuing a master's in social work. Now, they have the same criteria to licensure. I
Mm-hmm.
think they have to do 3 years of supervision post master, but
Yeah,
they can also
they
work
do.
with different populations depending on what demographic you want to work for. In my area, in the
Mm-hmm.
eastern part of the United States, if you're working in a school system, they prefer you to have an LPC because we're the ones trained to
Oh
deal
wow.
with those issues we just got through talking about. Major depression, we're trained
Yes.
to deal with and address the mental health part, and including serious mental illness. People with bipolar and schizophrenia, when you see people out on the street talking to stuff that you can't see, we're trying to work with those folks.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas social
Wow.
workers are trained to place those people. They're the ones who say, okay, so and so who out here, he need to go here for services and he need to go there. They do the utilization part of it. They're trained to do, which is why the government
Got it.
recognizes LCSWs or social workers more so than they do LPCs. Government don't care about working out any voices that those people are hearing or auditory hallucinations or visual hallucinations. Government don't care about that. What they do care about is finding them someplace to go, and that's what's was that clear as
Mm.
mud?
Yes, that was good. And then my last question, and we can wrap it up at this, but Deanna, can you tell us when you're searching for a counselor or a therapist, or maybe you're receiving services and maybe you feel like the counselor is not right for you, how do you end that relationship and find another counselor?
For any healthcare provider that you have, maybe I'll address your question and then tack on my.
No, that's however you want to do it.
But
You good.
it is so important to find a good fit for not just your mental health care provider, but any healthcare provider that you include on your team. As far as a
Yeah.
mental health provider, you want to be very self aware as far as what's important to you when it comes to working with that person, what their values are. Don't be afraid to ask questions. If I get the main one I get in my area here is, are you a Christian? Uh, they want to know.
Right.
And
They
I
want to
have no
know.
problem
I love
telling
it.
them what my religious affiliation is if that is something that's going to put them at ease. Some people,
Right.
if it's important to you for somebody to be of a certain age or a certain generation, because some people, they don't want to see somebody, they don't want to sit down with somebody the same age as their mom or their dad. Their mom and dad might be the main problem, or they might not own. Okay, they might not want to sit
Right.
down with somebody the same age as their children. Ask the questions that are
Yeah.
important to you when you reach out to that mental health professional. See if you can why did them excuse me before time. Say, hey, I
Okay.
heard, saw you on whatever marketing site or whatever the case may be. I got your name from my insurance company or whatever the case may be, but I have some questions. And ask those questions according to what's important to you. And you decide what those
That's
questions are. And
amazing.
depending on those answers, if they don't sound too good, or they keep on moving. Oh, thank you for your time. I think I will continue to look for someone that's a better fit for me. And if you start with somebody and you like, no, this person here, this is not quite right. Feel free to let them know that, Madam Counselor or Mr. Counselor, I really don't think this is a good fit. So I think I'm going to continue my search for someone that is a good fit for me. And that's totally okay. We are not equipped to be a fit for everybody.
Yep.
Thank you for that. Because I feel like when people seek out physicians of any sort, either you feel like you have to take what you get and you got to deal with it, or you feel like inadequate to speak up for yourself because you're like, they're a professional, maybe they know better than I do. But no, like you said, if you feel like it's not working, it's okay to let them know that in the most respectful way and find other care. Don't stop searching to
With
get the
every other
services that you
healthcare
need. Yeah.
professional, again, that you add to your team. See, I keep mentioning team. We need a team of healthcare providers.
Yes.
Everybody, you don't want a one trick pony. You don't want someone who is not equipped to address the specific needs that you may have. You wouldn't go to a podiatrist for your OBGYN issues. No,
Hello.
no, no. So
No.
you want to have a team of professionals that is trying to address your specific needs. Period. You want to have an internist on your team, somebody that has is a catch-all for whatever that whatever comes up. Because your OBGYN, they don't want to deal with common cold issues. Oh, I got my throat. No, that's
Right.
not me. You need an internist that have all your records
Mm.
that can refer you to a proper specialist. If you sprain your ankle, oh, okay, all right. Then there's an orthopedist that you have that could see you or whomever the case may be. If you got some shoulder issues, oh, okay, I got a physical therapist that can help work that out. Yeah, you have
Yep.
a team of healthcare
Yep.
professionals and you make sure that those professionals are accountable. Have your questions ready, concerns that you may have, goals that you may have, especially when it comes to the mental health professional. Make sure you walk in there and say, look, these are the issues that I'm concerned with. These are the challenges that I'm having. These are the things that I want to overcome. They're gonna, oh my God, because most folk that come to therapy, they don't know. All they know is I'm stressed out, I've been crying a lot, and I really think that I need some help. And it's, okay.
Right.
Now let me try to
Okay,
figure
so
out what's going
no,
on.
Yeah.
it's gonna take me a little bit to figure out what it is,
Correct.
but get at some thought about, okay, what's troubling me, what it is that I want to get accomplished. So that way you can hold those professionals accountable. Because if things ain't going the way you need them to go,
Thank you. Yes. Wow. Thank you so much for uplifting us through finding therapy, understanding what we need to accomplish in therapy. Right now, the takeaway is focusing on emotional wounds and forgiveness and self-care. I feel like that's the root of what we all should be focusing on. Even if we have our own individual things that we got going on, we all got emotional wounds. We all need to forgive, and we all can do better at self-care.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for uplifting us through that, because I know as a young person, it just maybe a couple years ago where I was like, I don't think I want a therapist. Before then, I would have never thought about it. But thank you for that and making us all feel safe that we can talk to a therapist and be prepared when we go.
Literally. We can show up already starting our growth journey by just showing up properly.
Yeah.
I know what I came here for, and let's get at it.
And not just through mental health, but also physical. You talked about all the other practitioners that help you through your journey and your whole self-help. You guys make sure you're taking really good care of yourself, mind, body, and soul, because it's important to live a very fulfilling and whole life.
Yes.
And we just really thank Deanna for being here.
It's been so much fun, and it's been my pleasure. Thank y'all for inviting me.
You're so welcome. Would you like for people to tap in with you on Instagram, or do you have another platform, a LinkedIn?
I am on Instagram.
You can talk about the Swan Wellness one. We will put Deanna's Instagram handle in the comment below. You said it's at Swan Wellness. Okay, so that's at Swan Wellness, just like the animal. Oh, 2 N's. Sorry. Okay, can you just spell it again?
LAN Wellness, WELNESS.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And again, thank you guys for tuning in. We really hope you enjoyed the episode. And guys, make sure you tap in with me and Amanda. You can catch us on Instagram doing something crazy. You can also catch us on TikTok and Twitter. We do be tweeting and we be TikToking. We love the trends. Follow us on all platforms at We Got Itch to Say Pod. On Twitter is We Got Itch to Say #2. Pod 2. Yeah. That sounds kind of crazy, but okay. And you can tap in with me at I Am Sade Brand for my personal page. And also, if you are interested in purchasing sunglasses, we are at Everyday People World on Instagram and everydaypeopleworld.com if you want to shop all sunglasses. And to tap in with amazing Amanda, she has her own photography business. She's a financial advisor. She's also the owner of Love Vibes. So where they can find you at, Amanda?
Thanks for that, Kay. You guys can, of course, find me at smile_4_Amanda. It's basically where you're going to get all my personal life and the finance business. Outside of that, there is the brand Love Vibes. You can find that at LO.vibes or the website www.lovvibes.com. And until next time, thank you all for being here, and we will see you soon.
Bye.
Bye.
This episode is brought to you by
Everyday People at Sunglasses Brand. This is a unisex brand for men and women. Most of the styles are going to be for, your everyday wear, for your looks, whether you're in the club, whether you're going to, a high classy event, or, you just want to be a little shady. Ooh. We got shades for everybody. We also have affiliates links. Once you shop and your friends shop, you can get a piece of the pie.